Welcome to Concept with Justin. Small water features are scattered like punctuation marks. They are never loud. They are intimate. Bubblers that lightly break the surface in a copper bowl, a tiny basalt monolith with a hairline sheet of water flowing over its face, a ceramic sphere that spins a whisper of water into a shallow basin. These mini fountains do several things at once. They cool the air subtly, they provide a quiet soundtrack that masks distant traffic, and they create reflection and movement to contrast with the still, sculptural forms of the pots. At dusk, tiny LED lights under the water make the ripples glint. The sound is never obtrusive. It's the kind of sound that invites conversation rather than interrupts it, and it makes the patio feel like a retreat from the rest of the world. Plants are chosen with an eye for form as much as color. Think structured evergreens, dwarf olive, cordyline, variegated boxwood, paired with softer, more tactile companions like lamb's ear, sedges, and maidenhair fern. The idea is to create contrasts that read clearly from a distance. An architectural agave thrusts up beside a low, spreading thyme that blooms with tiny white flowers. A sculptural yucca balances with a trailing string of pearls spilling from a glazed pot. There's an economy to the palette. Lots of greens ranging from deep forest to frosted blue, with sparing pops of bloom in terracotta or coral to keep things from becoming too monochrome. Fragrant choices, jasmine, citrus, rosemary, are placed near seating. At night, those scents feel amplified, and you'll find yourself breathing them in as you linger over a glass or a quiet cigarette. Materials matter here. Weathered wood benches with wide slats warm the scene and invite touch, while honed stone pavers provide a cool underfoot contrast. Gravel channels and narrow strips drain water and create a softer sound underfoot than stone alone. Metal accents. Planter stands, a slim trellis, a small sculptural obelisk, are done in aged finishes so they look settled, not new. Rugs designed for outdoors anchor seating areas and introduce subtle patterns that contrast with the planted forms. Pillows and throws are chosen in muted tones, olive, sand, deep slate, with textures like nubby linen or soft acrylic that can be left out in changing weather. The goal is tactile richness without fuss, things you want to touch, not fussy fabrics that demand constant care. Lighting is layered and discreet. Low, soft path lights guide movement without glare. Uplighting tucked behind a textured pot lifts its silhouette and makes the plant look like a living sculpture. A string of bulbs suspended above the seating reads like a canopy of stars. They're dimmable so you can change the mood from lively to contemplative. Underwater LEDs and the small fountains give the water a soft internal glow, bright enough to catch the eye but gentle on the face. The lighting plan always considers where shadows will fall. A well-placed light shows the texture of a pot's surface or the serrated edge of a leaf. Night in this oasis is not about brightness. It's about sculpting darkness so that the important things sit in gentle focus. Function and beauty overlap. A series of wheeled planters makes rearrangement easy for parties or to chase light and shade through the year. A narrow console table with drawers holds gloves, twine, and pruning shears, keeping tools at hand without cluttering sidelines. A compact outdoor sink and prep area sit close to edible containers. A raised bed-style planter with basil, thyme, and dwarf tomatoes, and a citrus in an oversized urn ready for late summer squeezing. The furniture is scaled for the space. Low loungers for reclining, a small round table for coffee, a bench that doubles as extra potting surface when needed. Everything has its place so the garden stays serene and usable. Texture in plantings is deliberate. A polished, sculptural plant like a yucca or an olive trunk is paired with feathery ornamental grasses that catch the breeze. Smooth-leaved hostas play against the rough fronds of ferns. Ground covers of silver-gray artemisia or blue fescue sit near textured terracotta, softening hard edges. In narrow pots along a railing, trailing succulents tumble like chains, their tiny forms a counterpoint to more blocky shapes. The mix of tactile sensations, soft, prickly, waxy, fuzzy, makes the garden feel like a place to explore with your hands as well as your eyes. There's a sculptor's sense to arranging the pots. They are massed as you would place objects in a gallery. A dominant piece anchors the arrangement, a couple of medium companions give balance, and small accent pots fill the gaps, creating rhythm and scale. Negative space matters as much as planted space. Leaving areas to breathe prevents the design from feeling cluttered. Mirrors, simple framed mirrors mounted on a wall, are used sparingly to reflect depth and light, making the patio feel wider. Green walls or vertical planter panels are used as backdrops where square footage is tight, turning a plain fence into a living canvas. Water management is smart and understated. Each pot contains high-quality potting mix with added clay granules for moisture retention and drainage layers with gravel and broken terracotta to keep roots healthy. Drip irrigation runs to the largest planters and to the citrus in its urn. Smaller pots get hand watering on a routine that fits the season. Rain catchment barrels are hidden behind slatted screens and feed a small reserve tank with a pump that supplements the mini fountains. This integration of systems keeps the Oasis lush without waste and makes it possible to maintain a luxurious look without daily grueling maintenance. Seasonal shifts are part of the design, not interruptions. In spring, daffodils and tulips in shallow dishes add cheerful contrast to evergreen structure. Summer brings strong foliage and late summer flowering salvias and agastache for hummingbirds. Fall introduces grasses and berries, and small citrus may begin to hint at fruit. Winter focuses on form, evergreen shapes, sculptural bare stems, and perhaps a dramatic structural pot that holds a small conifer dusted in frost on a clear morning. Because pots can be moved, tender specimens are rolled under shelter when cold threatens, and bulbs can be lifted and stored if a potted area must be cleared. The seasonal cycle becomes a choreography of small changes rather than wholesale upheaval. Color is used with a luxury restraint. The dominant scheme is green, running through deep emerald, olive, chartreuse, and blue-gray, with curated accents in coral, rust, and soft blush. The pots themselves provide much of the color through their finishes: matte black, warm terracotta, glazed teal, so living colors remain calm and cohesive. A limited palette keeps the eye moving slowly and deliberately, and each pop of bloom feels more precious because it is rare. Even the hard materials are chosen in families: stones that share undertones, woods that harmonize with pot glazes, so the whole composition feels edited and intentional. Sound design receives attention as well. The different mini water features are tuned so their tones complement each other rather than clash. A shallow ceramic bowl makes a higher, clearer note. A copper bubbler produces a warmer, rounder sound. A basalt monolith gives a soft, steady whisper. Leaves and grasses provide rustle. Gravel underfoot adds a subtle crunch. The garden avoids single, dominant noises so that the soundscape is layered. This layered audio makes the space feel like a sanctuary for conversation and for quiet thought. The sound is always present but never aggressive. Textures in hardscape are carefully chosen to age gracefully. Honed stone will patina without flaking. Corten steel gains a pleasing rust that reads like a finish rather than decay. Tropical hardwoods are oiled to bring out grain and resist rot. These materials are selected to stand up to weather and also to develop character, a luxury that comes from time, not perfection at the outset. The maintenance of these materials is practical. A yearly oiling, a light sanding and resealing, an occasional touch-up paint keep the aesthetic intact without demanding obsessive care.